Andy, I'll start it off for you if you like, but I'm going to fall asleep within half an hour, I reckon. I'm just about done.
Mate, if you fall asleep during this meeting, I shall come down to Melbourne and kick your ass because it's probably one of the most interesting going. This is actually going to be a lesson on how to sort your standing out. You know, so we're going to give you all the information so you can actually start sending some letters out and actually start something. Because we're not seem to be getting anywhere with the Crown at the moment because none of us quite know what to do. But there is other things to say we're living men and women, and thank you to Des. He's going to talk us through it today, and we're going to get all the information on the site so that we can all learn. Where are you? I'm looking for you. What's your Pete? Pete Spirit what? Spirit Being? Oh, you're a co-host anyway, I think. Yeah, you are a co-host. That's right. You can let people in there. It's when it makes that silly bleepy noise. You got to go and find people and let them in.
Well, it's going to have to be obvious and easy because I'm not in a good shape.
You're not in a good
Hi
state. What are you
guys,
doing to yourself?
how's everyone going?
G'day.
Hi.
There must be someone on the second screen.
I'm just too old and going too fast. I've got two in for you.
Hey, what, sorry? There's loads coming in. If anybody wants to have a chat, just help yourself. If you've got any information you want to share, you've got 5 or 10 minutes to just have a bit of a chat through what you know, what you don't know. I'll keep quiet if someone's got something.
I know a few people sort of did something on the common law chat. We all got on a few politicians' pages.
I'll hang up. See you then.
Oh.
Yeah, tell us about that, Colette.
Yeah, I just found something out with one of our MPs in Queensland that put on the table about the mandatory vaccinations. So a few of us jumped on her Facebook site and there's not really a space there to comment at the top like most people do have, so you can start your own thing. So we just picked a spot and we went with where they were celebrating the end of 2020 school and just commented on people putting comments on and started mentioning the vaccines and stuff. And yeah, just making people aware of what this means for everyone. So yeah, a few of us had a bit of a go on there, and I think sometimes that does help. Even if you don't make waves with the politician, you're getting to the people because it's the people we need to get to, right?
I've got a quick comment, guys. I got an email today.
Yeah.
New South Wales government.
Yeah.
It says a business continuity plan to save you from disaster. Basically, from the 31st of December, if you want to go to the green zone, which is around the harbour, and I'm presuming that's Sydney Harbour, you have to register through the New South Wales website to get your customers and staff back into the green zone after 5 p.m. on the 31st of December. So I'm presuming that's around the Sydney Harbour for the New Year's Eve. I don't know why they got that one. It's probably because it's to be in New South Wales.
Yeah.
Just another form of control.
That's it.
Just simple. It's all about that. The flexing their muscles, showing us that they're the strong and we're the weak, or the stupid.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is, the Sydney Harbour, everybody gets around a big party. That's what they're doing.
So who sent that? Who sent that in?
Yeah, let me have a look. Hold on. Going back, it's the New South Wales government. If I open that up, if I can see.
Okay, jump on the site. Jump on the site.
Yeah, service.newsouthwales.gov.au. So services are where they do all their registrations, maritime and all that kind of stuff. Human services basically it's called now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, human services, like there's aliens out there? Yeah.
As opposed to animal services,
okay.
dog services and cat services,
yeah.
It's human services. Yeah.
We'll have monsters there as well. Yeah, so we should start jumping on those sites and making some comments.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
G'day, Des.
Hey, how are you, mate? Sorry, my apologies for not ringing this morning, mate. I did see that you'd called. I'm just writing you a message right now, actually.
Cousin Ian said if you want to have a yarn dream too, you can test him, give him some information. He's putting stuff up on there as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
good stuff. Yep, great.
Is this the Des that I'm supposed to contact forever and a day and I never get around to calling him?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You got it.
There you go, mate.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Ian. Good, mate. Good. So you're in your poon too, are you?
Yeah, I am. I've just, I went to Mackay today and back again. Did a well test
Yeah.
up there. I'm
Yeah.
trying to rustle up a job for the new year. That was a
good.
nice drive.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Yeah, good
Yeah, I
stuff.
used to live at Emu Park.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
Right.
lived at Emu Park for 7 years, yeah.
Okay. And you're up
Okay.
in Tully, aren't you?
Yeah, near
sorry?
Tully, in between Tully and Mission Beach.
Okay. I used to work at Mission Beach
Okay.
a long time ago. I've got a cousin up there somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you start talking, it's really small, but at the moment we feel really big, right, Australia?
That's it.
Yeah. Got to pull together and make it smaller.
Where's Andy gone?
I'm just in the chat.
Yeah.
Des, I just had some information on how you don't have to pay tax
Yes.
when you work for somebody.
Yes, okay. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People I was speaking to last night, they don't pay tax because they've got the way of doing it. I'm just looking for what I've done with it.
Shane, did you get the link where they had that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I've got it.
Did you post the link? Can you post the link in the chat?
Yeah, I'm looking for it to do that right now.
Okay, I'll see if I can find it. I think I've still got it up.
Yeah.
I've got it up here. I'll put it on there.
You got it. I've got it on it.
Yeah.
There's Ian,
Got on.
Andy with the computer.
Yeah, there it is. Click on that. It's a statement you can from the tax office. It is a. Let me go back to that page. It is a statement by a supplier. So instead of doing your tax declaration to your employer, you can give him this, which is legal and it's a statement by a supplier. So you can actually just give him an invoice instead of wages.
Oh, okay.
That's if
It's like you're on a contract.
Yeah, so it's like a contract, or it's being like a subcontractor.
So like you're a contractor.
Yes.
Yeah, like a subcontractor where you pay your own tax.
If you work,
Yeah.
if you're corporation sole, you can do it, but if you're corporation aggregate, you can't. So if you have a business like I do, I cannot do it. But if you're working for somebody, you can do it. So if you're corporation sole, you can do it. This is
In other words, if you've got an AVN, you can't do it. Yeah, you got to go up your AVN.
Right, we've got 26 in the room. We're 10 past. Are we happy to start thinking about starting?
Yep.
Yay.
Awesome.
You want to pay
Okay.
tax.
What I'm just going to do for a start is just meet everybody. And we'll just have a few seconds of silence so I can introduce our guest tonight, who is in the room. And we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Hi all, welcome to the Common Law Court tonight. It's our Wednesday night meeting and we've got a guest with us tonight, a gentleman called Des Rowe, who I've spoken to for a few hours on the phone at different times. And he's quite well informed in regards to how to set up his standing in the community or in the world as a living man. So we've all been looking at Crown, we've all been looking at various ways of making our life our own rather than becoming a person and dictated to. And Des is going to share his paperwork, which he sent to me, which we're going to put onto the site. And what we'll do is go through that paperwork. Des, you're welcome to screen share. I shall flick on and allow you to screen share as well. So if you want to put those documents on, you're welcome.
Well,
Des, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Cheers, appreciate that. Righto, I sent you all of that information. I'm not too versed on how to upload all of that stuff onto the chat, but hopefully if you can do that for us. I sent you the first thing that you've all probably heard about, your Live Life claim. So that was the first thing that I initially done, was a Live Life claim. And then the second thing I did was deed of reconveyance. People have got different names for it, and there's a couple of, or a reversion process. You've probably heard of it being called a reversion process. And Andy, are you sharing that stuff up, or are you going to put that up shortly?
I've not got it on my screen at the moment. It's coming on. It's
Okay.
on my computer in the office, which I've got a problem with. So Tan's
Okay.
going to bring hers down, and we'll do a screen share on hers. But basically, the documentation will all be available to everybody, and we will actually put it onto the website in a format that can be read. And then there's also, from what I saw a minute ago when I ran up the office, you've got basically a skeleton that we can fill in and use ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
just
the way,
a quick one, Des, your Live Life claim, you mentioned that first. Let me just explain to people. That relates to the Creskyville Trust 1666, paragraph 11, 18 and 19 from memory, which basically says you're all dead lost at sea unless you actually make a statement, witnesses with 2 other witnesses, posted back to yourself. There's various different ones out there. Which one did you run down the line of, Des? Is it one you've designed yourself, or is it one you found?
yeah, the group, the Central Queensland Anti-Corruption Group, that's here in Rockhampton, that's based here in Rocky. There's about 25, 30 of us, I suppose. But yeah, probably close to 30 of us now that are fairly regular. Yeah, we started out. It's an ecclesiastical type of a Live Life claim. So we did design it ourselves. We have seen a few that have been distributed around the place that you see. So we ended up doing one ourselves. We have 3 people witness the instrument. We've got we're pretty fortunate. We've got a few CPOs in the area up here, so you just need three good people, of course, to sign it. You don't actually need anyone in particular to do it. But you can have that. Once you do that, actually, it's no use really doing it with that document. I got my CPO stuff apostilled, done through a notary, and then had it apostilled. You can do it with your deed of reconveyance. You can have that notarized and then have it apostilled by the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, if you want to. But back to your Live Life claim, it's just basically, it's a template. I've sent it to you in a template, and you can share it with everybody. Now, we're not sure what other people do, but we do our name, or I autograph, I never sign. But when I'm doing my name, I do it as > Desmond _ Charles _ Frederick > House of, or of the family Rowe. Now on my Live Life,
which is something we've been doing for a while under correct sentence structure communication passe syntax, but we seem to be learning that the name is, any part of the name is still fraud. So my thought behind that was to put square brackets around the name and put yourself as Crown first, as I have on my my name on here. So
I see that. Yeah, I see that. So normally I do, but because I'm the beneficiary of the name trust, I can move in and out of the. I can move in and out of that trust as I see fit, and I can use it to my advantage how I see fit also. So when you do outside of your Live Life claim, actually I think the Live Life claim is probably one of the most important single pieces of paper, because that's all it is. It's actually one of the most important things that you can do, especially having it to the point where, like I did mine, quite a while ago. And so if there's any dispute about the fact that you are the living man, if you have done it 6 months ago, it's got better standing than, say, if you had it dated for today's date, if you know what I mean, because it shows a prior recognition of your standing. So the sooner you can actually do a Live Life claim, I reckon the better, because if there is any dispute arising, or if anyone questions that standing, which they tend to be doing quite a lot these days, at least you have something down on paper. When it comes to the deed of reconveyance, that's a little bit more complicated in that it's not a cheap process, because everything that I do like that, I do it on proper legal layered paper, which is an 8.5 inches by 14 inch imperial measurement, and you have to get the paper cut. And Shane and Kerry, when they're up here, I believe Shane and Kerry got some cut too. Yeah, they took some back. Yeah, so whenever you can get that sort of stuff, and normally you get it from like a printing works or a printing organisation, you know. So if you can do it on legal paper, and of course when you do a deed of reconveyance, before you bind the document, you've got to go and get it notarized by a notary public, and that's probably the best form of witness that you can have. Basically what that does is intertwine the fact that someone in their system recognizes your signature as the living man. Now, the deed of reconveyance that I sent to Andy, it'll have my name. It's in a Word document form, but it's got all of my details in it, and I'm happy to do that, because you've got to do the deed of reconveyance exactly as it is. As you see my name written, that's how you just replace it with yours. So I've made it very easy for anyone that wants to do it. Just do exactly what I've done in the document. You'll see the way I've autographed my name. You'll see the way I represent myself on the document, so you keep it in a loose leaf form. You don't bind the document. You take it to the notary, because I got every page notarized. With a deed of reconveyance, there's nine actual instruments, separate instruments, and you want each of those pages documented, each of those pages notarized, and then you can bring it home. And then again, before you bind the document, you've then got to get all your copies. It gets sent to the Vatican. It gets sent to Queen Elizabeth, to Windsor Castle, not Buckingham Palace, because that's a business, basically a business address, and it's a corporation, so you don't want to send it there. You've got to send it to Windsor Castle. You've got to send it to the Vatican. It goes to the United Nations. It goes to the Attorney General, the Registrar General. I think it goes to Susan Kiefel, who's the High Court Judge of Australia. It goes to a lot of places, 16 places in total. When you do a deed of reconveyance, though, I spoke with Shane and Kerry about this. It's not just that 9 pieces of paper that you go and get notarized. What you've got to do after you've purchased the legal paper, which is, Shane, you might know how much it cost. I can't remember what it was, the legal paper. How much was that for?
It was $350 for 500 sheets.
Yeah, right. Now, see, there's 2 of you, so you've got to do two deeds of reconveyance. So I found when I done my deed of reconveyance, I initially purchased 200 pieces of the 8.5 by 14 inch imperial layered paper. Now it's called duck egg blue. That's the proper paper. And when you hold it up into the light, you can see that the paper's layered. They use it in their council minutes, and they use it in court documents, things like that. So that's okay buying that initial, the initial 200 pages for one person. So I used 170 myself just with that. So when I sent, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the fact that I sent a notice of asseveration to the police commissioner of Queensland, and I also I handwrote every envelope for 419 police stations, and I also put a copy in white paper, not in the legal paper, but the asseveration notice in an A4 size I sent to every police station and every police beat in Queensland, putting her on notice, along with a notice to cure and a default notice. That's up on the Australian, if anyone wants to go onto the Australian Public Notices website, that public notice of that asseveration notice and the default notice and the opportunity to cure, all of those documents are up on that website. and then I copied the link, and then I sent it to the CCC. I sent it to my police. I sent it directly to her personal email address, so that she's fully aware of the judgment that was made. Back to the deed of reconveyance. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. What you do is you'll go to Office. Your best option is to go to Officeworks, to be honest with you. So what you do is you get Officeworks to send you the originals. You use the originals, and you get Officeworks to send you that in a Word, still in a Word document, right? Get them to send them to you because you've got the notarized copies then, right? So get them to send you the original back to yourself, so that you've got that in a file as a secure document. And then what I did was I produced I sent to 16 different places, but I got 19 copies in total. So I got them to do high definition 19 copies of the total deed of reconveyance, and then I came home with the whole pile of it. And then I sat down and I individually sent to the places that it's got to be sent to. Actually, I didn't, with that deed of reconveyance, Andy, I'll send it to you shortly when I've finished talking and someone else has a go. I'll send you the actual addresses that it's got to be sent to. You'll see that it's actually got Buckingham Palace on there. It got sent back to me and had to be resent back to Windsor Castle. So, yeah, she doesn't do business there anymore, and that's why she's not there. But yeah, so that's pretty much the deed of reconveyance. It's a bit of work, but it's the expense. To send one of those envelopes overseas was like 40 something bucks, 46 bucks. And you got to send it by registered post. And you got to keep your bookkeeping and that when you're doing all that sort of stuff and keep track of it. So I think there was
you keep
six.
Ledger, don't you? Des,
Sorry?
You keep a ledger
Yes.
of the RRP, the registered post number,
That's right.
and then you say where it's sent to, the date it was sent, and then you should track it yourself and say when it was received as well. So you've got that record for yourself with the received number. Yeah, you can get that book from the post office if you ask for it.
Yeah, you can get a ledger. Yeah, so that's what you got to do there. I think it's 6 places over in overseas in total, and it was something like 10 here in Australia alone. But it's the cost of the exercise. You know, by the time you buy the paper, that's fine, but your notary is going to cost you about 275 bucks. They're all different. Prices are different with notaries, but if you want to then send that original, because I'll keep the original. If you say to the notary public that you want that document now apostille, so recognise that it's basically the Department of Foreign Affairs recognising the notary that he has assent from, you know, the Archbishop of Canterbury that he's a bona fide notary. So they just back up what the notary does. So if you do that exercise alone's, you know, probably around about, you know, close enough. You might as well say you're going to swallow up $300 in that process, plus your $200 to buy the paper. To do your stuff, and then the postage for me was, you know, 6 times, you know, nearly 50 odd bucks to send overseas, and then all of the local stuff that was sent here, registered mail. I think by the time I'd done the exercise, I just for myself, it was close enough to $1,000, you know, $900 to $1,000 to do a deed of reconveyance.
Have you tried to claim that back, Des, from the Attorney General in regard to the fact it's all debt?
Well, mate, I've got so many other things on the go. I don't really have time to do it. I don't. Yeah, I've just had our Kevy Rankin here. You know, he just left with a notice that I had to finish off this evening to send us back to Spurs. You know. And in most nights it's 10 o'clock, you know, and if Desi Hopkins is out here and, you know, Graham John and a few of the other key players or antagonists, you know, we don't finish until 11 o'clock and sometimes midnight at night. So we're just busy. We don't have time to sort of worry about that side of it at the moment.
Yeah, time poor.
Yeah, very time poor, mate. I'm waiting for next Wednesday when I can check out of this computer and not turn it on for about a week. It'll be good.
That's good on you, mate. Well done.
Yeah.
So, what have you, from doing all of this, Have you had any replies? Have you had any responses? Have you had anybody accept it? Who's accepted what you've sent?
No, that's the thing with doing any of this stuff. They can't acknowledge it. They can't give you a receipt for it, except for the fact that we know they've got it. They know that they've got it. But a deed of reconveyance, a deed of reconveyance can't be refused. It can't be rebutted nor refused. It's that same, that saying, he who discovers a fraud is entitled to remedy. So they can't deny you that remedy if you recognise your status as a living man. So, or a woman. When you say living man, that's inclusive of a woman. So
yeah, man with womb.
Yeah, that's right. So it's we're all they can't deny that process. They can't deny the deed of reconveyance. I notice that you guys do the Crown thing, which works. That sort of stuff works. If I'm having dealings with anybody, no matter what the interaction is, if it's anything to do with a lawful or what they consider to be lawful, let's say a legal authority, not a lawful authority, I simply remain. I'm just simply the beneficiary of the name trust. That's all I am. I'm no different than being the Crown or whatever you choose to be. But if you're going to stand up in a courtroom, not that you're going to go into the court itself, you're going to stand in the gallery. Of course, you never ever do that. But you're going to be the beneficiary of the name trust. That's all you're going to be, because if you answer to anything other than the beneficiary of the name trust, you're pretty much screwed. So that's it. That's pretty much how I define myself. That's it.
Awesome, Des. What I'm going to do is just mute us again so we can catch that as a straightforward video, and then we're going to go in. I'm going to ask a question as a couple of questions come up. Someone else just trying to come in the room as well. So
sure.
Just going to hold you there for my mic. Des, I'll just ask you to unmute yourself again, mate. Colette, you're asking a question now. If you'd like to unmute yourself, and I'll lower your hand.
Yeah, I was just wondering, Des, you know how you said you've sent the letters to all the police in your area, or to, say, Queensland or wherever you've sent them. Have you ever gone into your local police and produced these letters and showed them your standing so that they actually visually can see you and confer with them face to face? Have you ever done that?
No, I've never bothered, because they don't care. They won't care.
Yeah.
They're on a track, that they're on a course that you're never going to change. Their belligerence is something that we're never ever going to alter. There are.
But is it all belligerence, or is it just not knowing? Because a friend of mine in Western Australia did that. She took in, because we're from the red flag people, and she took in a whole list of papers showing how we've gone into like a military war on land, and showed all of them documents. And these policemen said, I did not know that. And they sat there for the whole hour and listened to her. So I don't think everyone's been belligerent. I think there are some out there, especially like I would imagine where I live in the country, people would be just going like, what are you talking about? But if you've got evidence there to show them face to face, they have a different idea of it. So,
well, we've got all the evidence that we need. And when you look at the stuff that we've got, like I was talking to was I talking to you this afternoon, Andy, about David Walter?
No, we spoke about some other stuff. No, you must be talking to Des.
The
other Des.
No, what I was talking to somebody. I'm just trying to think who it was this afternoon. But we've got all the evidence that we need to take into them. You can sit there until you're black and blue in the face. They know who I am. They know exactly who I am.
Do.
That's why they sent a copper out here a couple of weeks ago to do an arms audit. What they call a firearms audit, but we call it an arms audit. And I opened up the shipping container where my safe is, and he just looked in. He said, "Oh, is it bolted to the wall?" And I said, "Yeah, of course it's bolted to the wall." I said, "You want me to open the safe?" He said, "No, that's fine. I appreciate that. Thanks for your help." And he walked away. That was a 6 foot, 140 kilo copper here in Yeppoon, and he had no intentions of looking at my arms. He wasn't interested in my arms. After they got their separation notice and whatnot, and it went into default, and I put it up on public notice.
They know where
They
it is.
just, they just wanted to know where I was and who I was. That's all it was. And that's okay.
Yeah. Because that's the
okay.
only thing I find with sending these letters. It's just the paper stuff. It's just the words.
That's right.
It's the spell, all of that sort of stuff. And especially when the shit hits the fan, you want to know the people around you, you know, and the coppers are going to be just in the same boat we are.
Well, it doesn't even count as an option.
When the shit hits the fan, they're going to be just take that uniform off, and the people just like us.
Yeah.
So they're going to wake up to a rude shock too. So that's why I say, you know, maybe you haven't got on, you're not on the best side of them, but myself personally, I think it's worth showing face for people that might not have know the local police.
Well, I did go in there after that this John fella came out here, and I actually saw the young lady behind the counter. She was all fully booted and spurred with her combat gear on. And I just said, and I was polite. I've got no other way to be, but I was polite to her and just asked her. I said, "Oh look," I said, "John has come out to my place for an arms audit, and I just want to know if he's here. If I could have a chat to him, please." And she said, "No, he's not. He's not here at the moment, but he's actually just gone on holiday, 3 weeks holidays." And I said, "Well, could I get a message to him, please? And if you can send him my phone number. He's still got it more than likely. And tell him to get in contact with him. I just want to have a chat to him." She said, "Oh, can I ask what it's about?" And I said, "It's of a private nature, actually." And she said, "Oh, okay, I'll send him an email." So that was like 6 weeks ago. You know, he's not. They're not interested in talking to you. Most of them.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some out there that are really, you know, in the know, but I think a lot of them aren't, and they haven't got a clue what you're talking about. They haven't got a clue.
No, that's right. No,
I mean, that's right. You know, the history in our education system has been taken out in 1939. So there's a lot of people out there that don't know, and you know, we're portrayed by most of them as conspiracy theorists. So you know, they've just got the mindset that we're just all lunatics, right?
That's right. Yeah.
I think it's worth a try, especially for people that are confident enough to do it and can keep it together. It's worth talking face to face to somebody about this and having the documentation there to prove, and just getting to do their own bloody research, basically.
That's right. Yeah, no,
Thanks
that's exactly
anyway,
right.
Dennis. Thanks,
No, that's
Dennis.
okay. Look, if I have the opportunity, I won't knock it back. If I'm
trying.
in whatever place at whatever time, and they're sitting down, and I say, "Hey, I wonder if you're aware of the fact that, you know," I'll start talking about it. But that's you know, it's not something that's really come up for me. I've spent most of my time getting the correct information in relation to, you know, the 1890 Partnership Act and where we stand under that Partnership Act, about the fact that whether we like it or not, we are single shareholders of the Commonwealth of Australia, and we are British subjects, whether you like it or not. If you're born here or born in England, we're British subjects, whether we like it or not. So, but what a lot of people don't understand is that, you know, they go down the Republican route. Everyone's got different views about all of this, and we don't need the Queen. We don't need it. Unfortunately, for everybody, she currently holds a protection that you need.
That's exactly right.
She holds a protection that you need. Well, when I say she holds a protection, it's not so much her that holds a protection. It's the Constitution, which actually isn't our Constitution. It's to keep the government in line. That's theirs. You know, we're lucky that we've got the Constitution in place to take care of us. So once you understand where you come under the Wasteland Act, especially in Queensland, where you come under the Wastelands Act and where you come under the 1890 Partnership Act, They're under the 1891 Partnership Act. David Walter's papers, their forensic papers, they've been sent to the Queen. He's had human rights lawyers just recently ring him up, wanting to know what he's going to do with these documents because they're blown away. They don't know what to do with it.
No.
I've supplied all of those documents to Andy, so
lovely. Thanks.
you can put a petition of right into the Queen. Those documents took the petition of right itself in a Word document form that you can use. Des and I spent probably 30 hours writing that instrument, and so that instrument alone is worth doing the petition of right, and sending a copy of the PDF of David's petition of right is really a good idea. Read through it so you can understand it. It's an extremely important document. So, and it's complicated at first. You've got to read it about 7 times to get it into your head, but it'll give you your true lawful standing and where you really are in the land right now. Right. Once you and also what I've done is I put in and this is with Des Hopkins. When I say I, it's not just I, it's myself. Graham John comes around here and you know, we get together, we have a big powwow, and we start nutting things out. Des has got a very good legal mind, and you know, good head on his shoulders for that sort of thing. So I'm basically the purveyor of the information. I don't have any sort of real good lawful background or lawful head for this sort of stuff. But Andy has got all that stuff. That's it, David Walter's stuff. You've got it. I gave you a copy. Yep. So that's his petition. Was that his petition to the Queen, or is that to the Susan Kiefel, the High Court judge? Shane?
Shannon Kerry's.
High Court.
That's Susan Kiefel's. Yeah. Okay. The petition's slightly different than that, but it's basically all the same information. So what we've done.
It's all there in our history.
Yes, absolutely.
It's all there in our history. That's our standing. Our history is our standing.
Yep. Yep. That's
another question for you, Des, if we may. Ian's got his hand up. Thanks, Colette. That was absolutely awesome
thanks,
for
Des.
your little questions there.
Thanks, Colette. Thank you.
I'll just lower your hand, Ian. Anybody else after Ian, please put your hand up if you'd like to ask a question.
I just wanted to comment. Des, you mentioned that at the end of the day we're British subjects. Recently I purchased my father's house after he passed away last year. And going through his things, now my father used to be in the Air Force. He joined the Air Force just after the war at 18 years old. He was in there 21 years. We went to Malaya, and at the time we went to Malaya, Dad had a passport that said British citizen, not Australian. Yeah, right. It was a British citizen. Now, he was born in Rockhampton. And plain as day, it's like his birth certificate is Rockhampton. So when we went over there, he was a British citizen.
Yeah, right. So can I ask what year roundabout he was born, man?
1929.
Okay, so it was before 1933, yeah? Okay. So his class as a British citizen.
1928. His birthday was 29. He was born, but it doesn't matter. It's about that time,
Yeah.
I believe he joined the Air Force at about 1946, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, just after the war.
I'm just wondering, is that the original? Is that his original? It's on his original certificate, his originating document, or on his birth certificate?
I don't think I've seen his birth certificate, but I've seen and kept his passport because, you know, he's 30 years old, so it's good for me. It's better you don't want to see your father as a 30-year-old man, and you know.
No, that's right. But see, his passport would have been issued, you know, after 1933. He would have been classed as that's why he probably would have been classed as a citizen, not a subject. Prior to that date.
I think the actual wording of it, I guess I don't know. I can't guarantee which words are used. I'd have to go and find it again and actually read it to confirm which what it was.
Yeah, it's interesting, eh?
A couple of questions coming up, Des, if that's finished in. Thank you very much for that. Tony down here is asking a question. If you'd like to unmute yourself, Tony, I'll just lower your hand.
Sorry.
Hello, Tony.
Yeah, I think
there is footage of Peter Little going into the Spencer Street police station, police
Yeah.
complex, serving the 7-page whistleblower document from the Senior Constable Alexander Cooney, plus all the relevant references. That's all good, but I think we can tap into all the electronic means of delivering all this stuff as well. I don't see why it should just be done in person. It's great, but maybe hit them on either side.
Yeah, certainly doesn't
Yeah,
hurt.
that's fair enough.
And it
Fair
can be
enough.
done pretty quickly if you just like, I guess, send it to yourself and just BCC it to the whole lot of them. Surely
Yeah.
all the contact points can be tapped into and extracted. You know,
Yep.
you're IT savvy.
Yep. No, that's right.
Yeah,
That
fair
way
enough.
you got
Yep. No, that's exactly right.
Like, you can't say you never got it.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've
Thanks
got
for that.
Tom
Yeah, no,
asking
that's
a
good.
question as well. Much appreciated, mate. Thank you for that. Is that all, or have you got something else? Right. Tom, you're asking there. Just lower your hand, mate, if you want to unmute yourself.
Yeah, g'day, Daz. Thanks for all the info and thanks for all
Tom.
your hard work on the matter. Yeah,
Right.
I'm a $10 import from 50 years ago who
Yep.
naturalised themselves to become an Australian citizen. That also works for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
basically an English citizen now, or an English
Well, you're a British subject still.
subject, yeah. Well,
Yep.
you see,
But
I came from Holland, so I mean,
oh, sorry. Yeah, right.
the
Sorry. Yeah, beg
roots
your
are
pardon.
not from England.
Still a Commonwealth country, isn't it?
No, Holland isn't, I think.
Isn't Holland's not, eh?
No.
Okay. How many Commonwealth countries altogether are there? Does anyone know? In total? Anyone got any idea?
No, I don't know.
I don't know myself. I'm asking.
I think
I'm
it's
asking.
52 or 54.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 50 something. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, if you can relinquish that citizenship at any time you want.
Well, the Dutch citizenship, I naturalised as an Australian, and in those days there was no dual citizenship at all.
No.
So I mean, I've relinquished my Dutch citizenship for sure.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
and from there on, all that applies to me.
Yep. Yeah, you can relinquish that citizenship. Yep.
But
Do that.
the whole process, what you're outlining, applies.
Yes,
to me.
exactly right. Yeah, exactly right.
All
Yep.
right. That's
Have a
all
look
I
at the
want to know.
documents. Have a look at the documents. And Andy's got my phone number there. I can, if anyone wants to, I'll put it in the, I'll just put it in the chat here for everybody. Anyone.
There's 54 Commonwealth countries.
54. Thank you. That's great. Yep. If anyone wants to contact me, they can welcome to ring me. I'll just put my number up there if they've got any questions about the deed of reconveyance. I don't know much outside of that side of it, or the live life claim, the deed of reconveyance, and David Walter's work. But if you want to talk about any of it, or if anyone doesn't get it off Andy, let me know and I can email it to you. All of that sort of stuff.
Good on you. Thanks, Daz.
You're welcome. I can put up my email there if you like. Put my email up there and people can get in contact with me.
I plan to get it onto the common law court site along with the first part of this video. So that's the plan. I'll be in touch with James and Scott in the next day to move that across to them to put in a format that we can all sort of make sense of. All right.
Yep. No, that's fine.
Try and save you getting 250 phone calls, mate.
That's all right. That's okay. That's all
Any
right.
more questions out there, everybody?
Got to get about 50 of them a day. So.
Yeah. No, you do well, mate. You do well. You share your information well. I'm impressed with you.
That's what it's all about, eh?
Jordana, is it? I don't know how you say that, but you can unmute yourself. Jordana, there you go.
Jordana.
There you go. Thank you, Jordana.
Hey, how are you?
Got a question there.
Thanks. I'm just interested in what you said about using the notary.
Yeah.
And does that sort of like officialize or kind of make it seem proper or something in their eyes, rather than, I guess that, you know, that they're doing a particular function, aren't they? They're not just like witnessing, like you could get other people just to witness.
Not really. The notary that I went to, he was actually past retirement age, but he just loves doing what he does. He let me know quite a few times about that. He said, "Oh, what have we got here today?" And I said, "Oh, I just got a deed of reconveyance and all that sort of stuff." And he asked how it worked and all that sort of stuff. We talked about warehouseman's liens and, you know, your bonds and what happens to you with your in relation to your birth certificate and how it's used as an instrument, monetized instrument and that. And so he's quite chatty, but he did let me know that I'm here to witness your signature. That's all I'm here to do, is to witness your signature. What instruments you put in front of me is not of my concern. If you want to tell me, I'm happy to discuss it as a matter of interest, but he said I don't need to do anything other than that. So that's all it is. That's all they're there for. But you're having your signature witnessed by one of them of standing. That's what it is. That's pretty much the only reason you go and get it notarized by notary public, is that you want one of theirs to acknowledge the fact that you're doing a deed of reconveyance, or what's in the instrument that you're taking there. It doesn't matter what it is, but he witnessed the hand of a living man or woman, because when you autograph your name, you use your thumbprint with a red ink pad, right? So when I went there and I autographed my name, and I dragged out my little, my little pad, ink pad, and done all that sort of stuff. He said, it looks like you're organised. And I of course, I autograph in purple pen also. I don't autograph in blue or black or anything like that. I use purple pen all the time.
What about red? The blood, red, live colour.
Yeah, they say, that's a living man and all that sort of stuff. I just like the colour purple. That's the honest truth of it. I'd rather use purple than anything else. That makes sense. But I understand the colours. I understand what they all mean. But a bit like crown. You guys use crown. Well, purple's for royalty, they reckon, and all that sort of stuff. So not that I think along those lines. I'm not interested in that. But I just use purple because it certainly depicts a living man. But your red thumbprint, that's the living man right there.
Purple is also a sign of healthy blood.
Yeah, right. Okay, I'll go with that, Tony. I'm happy with that.
Spiritual too. It's the highest form of spiritual as well.
Yeah, so. Highest frequency. Yeah, red is kind of like a lowest.
It's people.
Yeah.
I really don't, Colette, I don't really know about my frequency. I don't think it's that good these days, to be honest with you.
It's spiritual. That's why all the high priests and that have the purple on there, all the popes and that, because they're trying to tell you the highest form of spirituality. So
it's also the colour of the Holy Spirit and the soul.
Yes. So that's why you're writing purple. So you're equal to them. There's only one above, and that's Creator. So yeah.
That's right.
He doesn't need a colour.
I was going to say I haven't seen his pen yet, so I don't know.
Yes.
They also say gold is a very strong colour too to sign with a high power.
Di?
Gold.
Yes, that's right. That's true.
Writing gold has a higher power. Yeah.
Tony and Skip, is it you that do gold? No?
Nah, I haven't gotten to that level of royalty.
So with the notary,
yep.
Sorry, I just to finish that bit, I contacted one to notarise a notice of liability and affidavit that I'm submitting, and when I spoke to him on the phone, explained what it was, he said, "Oh, well, then yes, I'll be keeping a copy of that or the original." And I kind of got, that doesn't sound right to me, not having done it before. So I contacted the person organising and said you can use 3 witnesses if you know a notary
That's
and
correct.
2 witnesses if you couldn't get the 3. So I ended up going with 3 witnesses rather than submit.
Yeah.
I just felt like, oh, am I giving up something powerful to them? And
all notaries will keep a copy of the instrument. Whatever you take in, they'll keep a copy. They've
not the
got to.
original. They shouldn't have the original, should they?
Not the original, no. No, they take a copy of it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but you know, three signatures are a higher standing than any notary or any judge. You know, 3
You always
signatures.
you should keep all originals for your own court of record. Full stop.
Yeah, yeah. You just, you know, whenever people ask the questions, oh, which ones do I send? Which ones do I send? You're the record keeper. You are the ultimate record keeper. So you're the one that keeps the records. That's it. Nobody else keeps the originals. You. That's it. That's it.
So there's then, if you get the original, what do you send? What do you mail out?
An authorised copy.
Just a copy of, yeah.
You can make an authorised copy yourself by autographing the top of the paperwork and thumbprinting it.
And
because you have the original, you can prove that in court.
Yeah, so that's also on legal paper, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm sending out anything of any importance, I will I'll do it on legal paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I treat this as, because I've got, you know, you got your CPO stamps and I've got my wax seal and my wax glue gun, all that sort of rubbish, you know. I've got all of that sort of stuff and the you know, stamps like, you know, the UCC 1-308, although grammatically it's not correct. But it's still UCC 1-308 without prejudice. I've got an autograph by, and these are all in purple, these stamps. And I've got another one without ill will, vexation, and frivolity, because actually Skip sent me Skip and Tony. Skip sent me a document that I sent to her that we did last night. A notice. Was that a notice of avoidance, Skip? I think it was. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, it was a notice of avoidance. And Skip went through it, and she done like a passe syntax. She grammatically corrected it for me, and she does it a little bit different than what I do down the bottom. So, but I left all of what Skip did. I left all that in there because it's saying the same thing, but in a probably grammatically better format than what I'd put in, right? So. That's one thing about these instruments when you do produce them for yourself, and we're getting better as we go along. We've just done what we thought was right at the time, but like Tony and Skip, they're sort of studying the grammatical side of it and making sure that it's syntaxed correctly and basically that we speak correctly in plain simple English. So when you're doing these stamps, you've also got to make sure they're grammatically correct. But saying without ill will, vexation, or frivolity, it's very easy for these organisations. If you send them a third notice, say a default notice, and you haven't got that on the bottom of it, they can quite easily stop any correspondence being sent by you as being recognised because you're a vexatious complainant, right? So if you put on your documents that you're not being vexatious, you're not doing it with frivolity, taking the piss. And you don't wish them any ill will, you just want to rectify the situation. You just want remedy, right? So that's what you've got to consider when you're doing these. Would that be right, Skip? You'd agree with that? You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, pretty much, Des. I just use the terminology, and a good thing that I use is the styles manual. I go back to that.
Yep.
My best proofreader is sitting right next to me. He'll read it,
yep.
and if something's not right, he'll make sure that it is right or changed or consider an alternative. But yeah, that's what you've said is correct, Des.
Yeah, that's it. You've got to, basically what you're doing is you got to cover your ass. You know, little things even like I used to put, you know, well up until today actually, because Skip come up with a good thing is when you're doing your post office box, right? Or not your post office box, sorry, your postcode. She puts in there, what is it, Skip? You put in there military something.
Code.
Yeah, military postal code. So you put that in square brackets.
Yeah.
So a bit like when you're doing your surname, you always put that in square brackets.
Yes, and all in lowercase.
Yeah, that's right, and all in lowercase. So doing little things like that on the documents, they recognise this stuff. Believe me, they know about it. So if you start trying to do things grammatically correct, well, then they will start listening to you or start taking notice, because all of a sudden they're going to see that we're starting to get a little bit educated about this, right? You know, about their fraud, about their deception. So it's a really good idea.
Sorry to butt in, Des. And don't be frightened to share information with others or get somebody else completely separate to read what you're doing to pick up errors.
Yeah. That's right. So last night, for instance, right, the way we network is that I rang, what do I call, about the end, about after a sentence, after you, just say you've got paragraphs on a page, right? You've got, say, 5 paragraphs on a page. Skip showed us a few weeks back that after each sentence, after each paragraph, it should be comma at the end, not a full stop. It should be a comma, lowercase and, semicolon, then you go to the next paragraph. Because so your paragraphs, is that right, Skip? Your paragraphs don't end with a full stop.
Until the end of the topic that you're dealing with.
Yes, yeah, the actual topic itself. If you move on to another topic, then it starts off again.
Yeah.
And then, and semicolon right after the end. Yep.
Yeah, Agent Swift is the guru on that.
Yeah.
Yep. No, it's good. So we're picking up little bits and pieces. So I sent that document to Skip. Was it last night? Was it? Last night. And we were a little bit tired. We're a bit flustered, but we sent it to Skip, and she sent it back to us, and then we sorted it out. And then today, when Kevy just before Kev got here, I went through it and I looked at Skip's, and I basically used the whole thing, and where it needed correction in red and that, I did that. It was all my information still, but it was just grammatically correct with other stuff that Skip added on that was important, that had to be on the document, you know. So, but back to what I was saying before about your stamps and things like that. When I'm explaining this stuff, and I think I said to Shane and Kerry when they come visit, I had a really excellent. They come down to Yeppoon, and we sat here for a while, and it was just wonderful. We had a good chat about stuff, and that's if you can hook up with people too, and actually physically sit in front of each other and share your information. You take it in, and that's what Shane said. You get more information talking to somebody over an hour's period than what you do by having 5 Zoom meetings. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to slot it together. So the more information you can share, like I sent the stuff to Andy to put up here for you guys to look at, you know, whether it be the deed of reconveyance or your live life claim or the petition of right, so that you get some basis about what the government's doing to us and how it's been happening. You know, you got to keep sharing that information, you know. Anything you can put out there, you know. There's a lot of shit, as you know, there's a lot of stuff that we don't need. There's a lot of stuff that's probably a little bit, you know, it's a little bit complicated. But if you don't know you're standing first and the reason why you're standing there, then you can't defend yourself.
That's fair call.
Sorry?
What's
that, Ian?
I didn't know I was unmuted, but I said that's a fair comment.
Yeah.
You know who you are first before you can defend yourself.
That's exactly right. Yeah. A bit like if you don't know your rights, you got none. Isn't it? Simple as that. Yep. Anyone else got any questions, especially about grammatical stuff? Because Skip and Tony is the ones that know more about that sort of stuff than what I do.
Not me.
So I'm more than happy to help anyone if they're interested.
Yep.
Get something done. Don't hesitate.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that's it. No, we all.
Can I ask a question just briefly?
Yeah, Peter.
When you said something before that was interesting to me, that you were sometimes going in and out of that standing. Does that mean that you were sometimes operating as the fiction and sometimes operating as the living man?
Well, we've all got to do that, whether we like it or not, Peter. I guess, you know, you look at your license, for instance, like you got to pick you got to pick your fights, essentially, because what we realised here, like I've got my own on what I call an automobile, and I'm traveling, I have my own plates, you know, I do all that sort of stuff. And about how long ago did I put that registration back on the van? It'd be a week or 2 weeks ago or something, I think, Tone, was it, Skip? About that?
Yeah, about that.
Something like that. So we had a discussion between the group. Now, it's not just me here, because within this group, I'm the main collator of the information. And this is, you know, this is probably where the documents and all of the heart of it is. But that's because of all the other people around me, right? So, but what happens is their information is important to me. Like, I secure everybody's information. I run 3 encrypted hard drives, and I run VPNs, everything, so that nobody knows what this computer. I don't run anything on my computer at all. It's not a blank screen. I've got the programs on it and things like that. Shane and Kerry have seen my computer. I run nothing on my computer. I run everything through a hard drive, and I plug in every time. I put my encryption in every time. I have nothing on my computer, right? And my encrypted drives, if they want to take those, they're paperweights. They can't get in. Not even the manufacturer can get into my encrypted drive. So, and then you don't keep the other 2 encrypted drives on site. You only ever have them together for a short period of time while you're making sure you're backing up your equipment, right? Backing up your gear. So little things like that, you got to start, you know, people need to start thinking about the security of why they're, you know, what they're doing, you know, look after yourself. That comes back to, do you live life claim, do a deed of reconveyance if you want to go that way. There's other avenues you can do, but you've got to make sure that you have your standing as a living man or woman. You got to get that sorted out first, because they can come along at any time and say, hey, you're one of us. They're going to deny it anyway, but at least if you've got it on paper, or if you've got it on record that that's who you are, you're going to be a hell of a lot safer, you know. What else were we talking about then? Before I went on a little rant just then.
Well, we got Shane and Kerry got a hand up, so I don't know whether you can unmute yourselves there, Shane and Kerry.
Yeah, mate.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. You're good.
Okay. Really a question for Skip and Tony. To get better on to learn about the grammar stuff that you're doing, what would be the best way for us to go about that? Is there anything we can buy or access of you, or?
The only document that I have, only book that I have, is the Styles Manual.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the 6th edition. Bookshops, secondary bookshops are great for them. You can get a hard copy or a paperback copy. I've just got a paperback copy, mainly because it's something that's going to be amended from time to time. Yeah. But it's just practicing. If we've got a lot going on, so I've been given some templates. I fill them out. Agent Swift or Minister Kay Lee, they will look at them and then bring them back to me, send them back to me, and we'll go through suggestions of what we can change, how we can change it or word it correctly. But we always make sure that we attempt at all times not to use legalese and dog Latin. But the only time that is used is if we're replicating something of a document that we're responding to. But it's just
Skip. Skip, just quickly, is that the Chicago Manual of Styles or the Oxford, or which one is it that you're using? Just so everyone knows.
It is this one.
It's a bit glary. Yeah, that's better, Tone. Is it say Oxford Styles, or is that the?
No, I don't think so.
Has that got the corporate seal on it? Has it? Did I just see that?
On it, yeah.
That's the Australian Styles Manual that was recently sold to one of the big publishers, but up until a few years ago, you could get that out of the government for free.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, but you got that's their Styles Manual too, isn't that? Yep.
So that's the one that I've used.
Just be careful. We've got Agent Swift in the room now, so just don't talk about it.
I've got no problem with Agent Swift being in the room. He's just cleaning his screen at the moment. So, but
Hey, Rick, how are you, mate?
But it's through you just practice with documents or practice with writing documents, even just a basic letter. You practice using the or send it to me if you want me to help you out. My email address, I'll put my email address on the side.
That's probably a good idea, Skip. If they've got if they send you say something generic that they've and you can just syntax it in red and send it back to them so they can put it side by side and go, oh, okay, well now I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good idea. Yep.
Hey, Swifty.
Right.
Hey, is it all going?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
Mate,
really
yeah.
good.
Is that right, Don?
Yeah.
Okay. TS right.
No, Stephen?
Yeah.
He was here. Yes, he's there, but he's not. No picture.
No, he's playing with himself somewhere. I'm not sure where. He'll come in when I said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, other than that, Des, I think it's just you've covered everything fairly well.
Yeah.
And even though, if you say you've gone off on little tracks, they're not bad tracks. They're good tracks. They're informative tracks. So
yeah.
We've Des, just some background on what Des is saying. He started this or became aware of this late last year and early this year, but had knowledge of it many years prior to that. When I met Tony, they both had an aversion to and had a knowledge that the system was not right, and just following that. And if your gut's telling you something's not right, it's telling you it's not right. And from that time on, there's always been this urge to seek out how the system has corrupted everyone and how we can get out of it. So Des was the leader here, and he encouraged us, and we followed the path to some extent at this point in time, but the intention is to continue down that path. But we have done we've separated ourselves and have the live life statements done. It's been time. It takes time because we send ours back up to Des and the Central Queensland group to get it all notarised and then getting it back to us. But like Shane and Kerry, there is a very good supplier of paper in Rockhampton, legal paper in Rockhampton, and they were able to assist us when we were up there earlier this year. We too got our legal paper from Rockhampton.
City Printing Works, it is. City Printing Works, they call themselves in Rockhampton. If anyone wants to know who it is. Yep. We're pretty lucky here in Central Queensland. There's a lot of people that are awake in this area. Ian, you probably don't know where how many people are around here, but there's an awful lot of people that are awake, you know. I started talking to Des Hopkins a couple of years ago, probably two and a half year ago now, who was really good friends with Peter Boyle, who was pretty much, he'd been doing this for 34 years before he passed away last year, which was sad. He was the instigator of the Rockhampton, the Common Law Court Rockhampton. I was at the first meeting with Peter Boyle, and first meeting with Des Hopkins and Kevy Rankin and Finlay Cox and all of those older guys. I was at the very first meeting, and then when we decided to form the group, so we had a secretary and we've got a treasurer and all that sort of stuff to formalise the group a little bit more. We were right at the very start of it. But prior to talking to Des Hopkins, I don't know if anyone's heard of Kent Jenkins, who's got the Principality here in Queensland, in Rockhampton, near Rocky.
I haven't.
Yeah. Well, I started talking to him prior to that. He's a bit like Hutt River, you know, but it's not really an active principality as such. But I started talking to him, and when I started talking to him about some of this stuff, you know, it was just, it was incredible. It sort of all mashed into what, you know, when I was a lot younger, when I knew that shit wasn't quite right, you know. It was just, so it's only been the last couple of years that things have been really starting to come together, you know. Well, the community's got bigger, you know, it's got much, much bigger. So we've grown from, at that first meeting, we had like 10 of us. We've got 30 odd, you know, active people in the group all up now, around about that 30. And we have Zoom meetings with our meetings every second Sunday as well. So it's, we're getting more and more people that are becoming awake, you know, it's great.
I didn't realise it was so active around here. I'll have to get on board.
Oh, look, you know, only look, 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes from me, Graham John and his mate Mick that lives at Kawarl, they've been doing it for decades, and the letter writing skills of Graham John is in, you know, it's fantastic. You know, when we come across him, we thought, oh wow, you know, it's just great. But we just keep on meeting people all the time that are active, that have got cases going on. Like in our group alone, I think I'm doing stuff for like 6 people right now, just in our group alone. That's got to do with rates. It's got to do with whether it be a speeding fine, public nuisance. Not that they really were. It was just bullshit. But you know, just all these things that are going on around us at the moment. So just within the small group alone, Tony and Skip know what it's like. For me, you put in some big nights, but what we're doing out of that with that networking and helping people is we're getting experience, and you got the likes of you know, of Rick there and Lee Kay and whatnot, helping Tony and Skip and doing stuff. So the network has gone from Queensland here. When I first started talking to Lee Kay and Rick, I then put Tony and Skip onto, I think that's what I did. Did I do that, Skip? I don't know. Yeah, I let them know that, hey, you guys are down there. So you've asked them, and so basically we've networked from central Queensland to Adelaide to Western Australia, and now we're all over Australia. You know, so we're everywhere. It's really good.
It's great.
It's really good. I've got. I'll be seeing. You guys, well, you've had William Burrow on here, I think, have you, before?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've interviewed William.
Yeah. He's a lot of fun.
He's a good man.
He's a lot of fun.
A few laughs with him since as well.
Yeah. I was talking to him today. I'm going to see him on Friday morning. He's on his way back up to Townsville, and then he's going out to Mount Isa for Christmas. But yeah, he's a lot of fun. So just in this area, because he's from his family's up in Townsville, but his wife and the kids, and he went up to Townsville to do that court case thing, and he's with his wife down in Gladstone. So he's not far from us. But yeah, we've got a lot of people in the area, hey, that are active and doing stuff. It's really good.
It is good. Yeah.
That's what it's about, with sharing all the information and getting in touch with all different people, and everybody's contribution is invaluable, you know. And as as Swifty says, he says it's a lot of fun, this stuff, and us being to court recently. It's he's right. It's a shit ton of fun, and and you're learning stuff along the way. But the important thing for us is that you can pass stuff on to other people. I mean, I'm still shitting green compared to most people on here. They know more, you know, and it's just great that everybody can share all the information and that, you know. And it doesn't matter what group's doing what and all the rest of it, as long as we're all here for the main reason, you know.
It is to learn.
The one goal is to take back what's rightfully ours, you know.
Absolutely.
And put a bullet through all pedophiles while you're on the way.
So
that'd be nice.
I just had a question in private. Jazz asked a good question in relation to documents. I don't know whether, Rick, do you use your stamps and things like that to capture documents?
Yeah, certainly. An autograph over court seals.
Yes.
And take control of the paper vessel.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, Jazz just asked that question just there.
Skip and Tony
was that over a court document, did you say then, Rick? Sorry. Signature, an autograph over a court stamp.
Yep.
And then put your own stamp on it. And then autograph.
No, you don't need to. Their stamp's already on it.
Yeah.
Just take control of the document.
Yeah. So you put a physical postal stamp on it.
No.
They usually freak out, the courts.
Yeah.
They won't accept the documents and stuff if you put a $1 stamp on it. But if you autograph over their stamp, you become the Postmaster General of that paper vessel.
Yeah.
Rick.
I've done it a few times.
I've done that to all of our documents of recent times.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, if just say, for instance, it's an enforcement order, right, from Spurs. Well, what we're doing now is issuing them with a bill of sale because they've given us an order, so we're going to give them a a bill of sale with our own amount on it, so to speak. But that enforcement order itself, do you capture that? You don't capture it with a stamp down the bottom. You just go up to their seal at the top and autograph through their seal, do you?
No, I'll put a $1 stamp on there, fine and everything. And usually, sometimes what I do is glue my actual notice to their notice.
Yes.
I've been thumbprinting today. Look.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. That's the go. Yeah. So that's
Janet,
we do.
Janet will have a red thumbprint as well. Put yours up.
Yeah, there you go. That's the go. Good on you. So Rick, so with that, because we do for our documents, we're producing our own instrument. We put our stamp and autograph, put a diagonal line, bottom left to top right. We just put a purple line on the stamp itself, and then we autograph. Just hover a little bit above that line on the diagonal. We autograph it. We put our thumbprint on that, which covers the paper, the stamp, and your name. Is that right? Yep.
Yeah, Jeanette from today. Oh no, you don't. They're still there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Sample.
Yes. So I'll get to pick them up at Officeworks tomorrow. So what we've done is. So what we've done.
Do you have another sample?
What, to screen share? Do you mean?
Yeah. Or just hold it up at the screen if you like.
Product.
I can do a screen share on the document that we did today for the bank or the council. So.
Do you have one you can just hold up?
Yes. Hang on a minute. I'll go get it.
Jeanette will, Jeanette will show you pretty much what we did today. Yep. So we actually get it heat bound with a clear top and a black back on it, because nothing's lawfully binding if it's not bound together.
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
Nothing's lawfully binding, not bound together. Yep. It's not a binding contract if it's not bound together. You're not bound to perform or bind it if it's
you
not
might
bound
have to turn your background screen off, Jeanette.
Okay.
Because it's only picking you up. It's blanking it out.
Okay. I just need to go turn it off. I'm not sure how to remove it actually. So as I'm speaking, yes, like what Agent Swift has said, we get thermal binding so that it creates a contract. And then from the register post, the identification, the tag, you put it on the contract as well. You also place a $1 stamp, thumbprint it, and sign across it. So you are the Postmaster General of that instrument. While I'm also doing that, I also send them the fee schedule along with their outstanding invoices that they still haven't paid. I'm just trying to think, what else do we do? I also put I learned from Agent Swift that I put a little logo of myself, of a symbol, which is a Pegasus, because the meaning of Pegasus is very reflective of who I am. What else do I do? And then in the footer, what I do is the register post, the RPP number that they get assigned to, I put it into the footer as well. And each document is signed by the public notary. And then off we go to Officeworks. We do our thumbprint as well. And I'm just trying to think what else we do. Oh, and just in there, I highlight things in purple as well. I put a little spiel. Usually I put a little spiel in there stating that, usually I refer it to Donald Trump, stating that he is removing the nefarious and dark agendas of the dark overlords and their apprentices. So I get a little bit cheeky when I write these notices. The reason why I don't think they're very intelligent, the banksters and the local councils. If they get it, that's brilliant. But that's just a little bit of my funny personality that I put in there. And I also learned from Agent Swift, yeah, you do the whole military postcode in brackets, so it goes off the page. We always...
And a bill of lading.
A bill of lading, yes,
absolutely.
that goes on top.
Yep. So if
You
I
could
can
hold
just
it up in front of your face, Janet, and if you hold it up in front of your face, we should be able to see it. Yeah, if you can hold it still in front of you.
How do I...
No, it's not working.
I'm happy to do a screen share because that's easier as
It
well.
was kind of working when you had it beside your face, so it's kind of, it must have something to do with your temperature. Now, when you had it actually touching before, it flashes in and out, eh? Yeah, no.
Am I able to do a screen share?
Yeah, just let anybody screen share. So if you've got it as a document on your computer, you're able to do it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go link it up to screen share.
Well,
just find the document and then go to screen share and flick it over. There's a little arrow at the right.
Share.
That's it. You got it.
Okay.
There you go. Look at that. Rick's right at the top. Notice to Agent. Notice principal.
Yeah. Yep. I'll just
That's the
increase
default, not change the clear dishonor. Ooh, nice one.
So as you can see, it's got the Pegasus Agent Swift for Crown. I'm going in as Crown. Notice a default opportunity to cure your dishonor. It's always the agent to principal, principal to agent. The UCC is always in there as well. We also state private. This is not private confidential, it's public and transparent. So meaning that I will be placing this on the public notices and I discuss this with everyone. So it's opened for discussion. And as you can see, they're known as a bailee. We always go to the private person and where they stand in what particular corporation. There goes the banking. So the military posting code there. Then they've got the ABN. And then you've got, say, for instance, the RPP that they actually get assigned to. So on the day when I send it off, next to their name, I will put the sticker of the RPP that I get from the register post there so that when they get it, they can see that they've been assigned to that particular contract. As you can see in the footer, you've got all your RPPs in your footer as well. So just going down, then we've got me, for example, my Agent Swift, and you've got myself. And as you can see, things in purple. So basically, this is where I put the sticker of the RPP next to their actual name. So I've got it there, and right next to it, I put the little logo sticker. Now, I address it to greetings, and I identify them that they're the Australian New Zealand.
We lost your mic there, Jeanette. That's better. That's better.
So what I also do is I've learned from Agent Swift is every corporation is in block letters. So that's what you do when you address them. Going down, it's just stating that they've failed to show me what I need them to show, which is a fee simple contract that I have with them for a mortgage. Here is just basically saying, hey, you have defaulted on the first notice and here's your registration numbers from the first notice I gave you, 28 days, and you have failed. Going down a bit further.
In brackets, the PMRD, what's that stand for?
Postmaster General.
When you go back. You know, Skip, what does it mean, Skip?
Postmaster registered delivery.
No, postmaster registration date.
Registration date, yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty close.
Thank you. Then I put my own little PP on it. So what I've discovered through some executive orders that Trump has been delivering out, he's got an executive order stating on human trafficking through banks, and all these links here, which mainstream media, or should I say lamestream media, don't report, where banksters are in USA being prosecuted for human trafficking, for fraud, for money laundering as well. So that's just me saying, here's some light viewing over Christmas. Feel free to go in there and have a look on your own accord. Happy Christmas, I'm basically saying. And then I'd just be a little bit more cheeky by saying release the Kraken Sydney Power, because I just like to remind them that due to their dark overlord apprentices that they are of JP, the dead dark overlord JP Morgan, they are involved.
Yes.
Then I talk a lot about the Geneva Convention.
Good girl.
Thanks to Agent Swift and the Libra Code.
Yep.
Then I highlighted in red that at the Geneva conference that all the Nazis were saying that we were only following orders and they were hung. So that's no longer an excuse in today's day and age. You need to be proactive and know exactly who you work for. So when people say, who do I work for? I say, I work alongside of God. So I know exactly who I work for, and I'm not an apprentice of any dark overlords. This section here is...
Maybe you just read out the Jesuits' oath.
Oh my, yeah, that's pretty horrible, isn't it? I'll just open that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's pretty horrible. Yeah, I don't like reading that, but it is.
No.
Don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud. We can read it. That's incredible. Jeanette, while I can got it up, Mike here. On that signed document, you got "I am that I am." Can you tell me why you put that there?
Up here?
Yes.
Yes, that is from Agent Swift, and basically a lot on this piece of paper, because we know they're Satanists. So I like to emphasize God a lot.
Yeah, so you're putting it on there because that's the name of God? Yes.
I am that I am means pretty much I am that, I am, and that, I am, whatever, everything. We connect to everything pretty much.
If you go
I am that I am.
If you go to the story of Moses in the Bible with the burning bush, when he asked, who will I tell sent me? God replied, I am that I am. But it's also, I understand that the ancient Sanskrit words are Tat, Sat, Om.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
And then basically at the end, we've got, I sign it here in front of a notary, which we did today. Agent Swift signs it below, and the notary.
I don't sign anything. I didn't sign anything. I autographed.
Autograph, sorry, yes, get the terminology corrected. And then inside of that document is an affidavit. I've learned from Agent Swift is that everything on the affidavit has to be on one page, so you can't have your signatories on it as well. So that's where it goes. So the first affidavit is mine, stating what an affidavit is, that I'm claiming everything here to be true and of fact, that I also have an agent as my Agent Swift. Then I sign it notary, And then the last affidavit is Agent Swift's. So he just basically says, yes, he's representing, and if called upon the Crown, he will bear witness, and stating, sorry all. Where are we? And then Agent Swift and the notary. So that's how those documents, and as you can see, there's 24 pages involved. We sign every single one and seal it at the bottom. So I'm happy
thumbprint it. We don't thumbprint it or put a $1 stamp in front of the barrister, the notary, because he freaks out. So we do that later on.
Yes. So that's my IP on the document. I just like to say that, you know, like to say Trump because I don't like him, and I like to say God in there. And I've also started to mention General Flynn and the military in this particular one, because I sense that these documents, I said this on Crown last night's meeting, is that these documents that we serve upon others will be evidence in a military court against them. So it's not going to waste. Obviously, we're not going to the military court, but this can be submitted to an officer of the military court. So whether that is the US military court, because these are international war crimes, or the Australian military court. Either way, I just started to write things like that because...
Which is accessed through the Hague. And if you look at rules of the Supreme Court in WA, 11A, it talks about the Hague. That's what was in the document.
Yes. So I'm happy. I think what's also really good, if you're going through the fact with an agent as well, that just gives further support to read the documents, and to also, what they do with us is they have their solicitors to try and do intimidation. So you can't actually speak to the person, you have to speak to their representative.
Hey, Jeanette, can I just point out something?
Yes.
It's
a typo.
Did you copy and paste all the Donald J. Trumps? Because they're all missing the D on the end of Donald and...
oh, yes. I've got
Flynn.
problems. Oh, thank you.
Flynn as well. That's got the YL instead of OY.
Thank you.
And also, should
Thanks
God have a capital G? Do you need capital G with God or not?
Well, I learnt the capital G with God is gold, oil, diamond. So I always spell God now lowercase. Or
Okay,
also grant over dominion as well. So I just go lowercase. Because they actually inverted the word God in capitals for God, oil, diamonds.
The capital G is supposed to be for God or the Creator himself, where the lower G is us.
Gotcha.
And I also heard the definition of God is geometry of divinity. It's another way of looking at it.
Oh, cool.
Or another way is grantor of dominion, because man was granted dominion over the creatures that creep upon the earth. So God can stand for grantor of dominion as well. So I think that if we use the word God, maybe we should put it in a dictionary or something at the end. A deed.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yep. So if anyone would like also to help with their documents, absolutely. I'm happy to do sharing as well. Thanks to Agent Swift. So just also put your own IP in it. So your own words, so it creates that it's your document. They're not templates as such.
That's the greatest advice you can give. Always make it individual to yourself in a certain way. You want to be changing it by up to 10% to make it your own document.
Yes, yes.
It's hard to hear, Andy.
So you want to make it up to about 10% different to make it your own personal document.
Mm.
Well, what sort of time it is? It's 9ish, is it? I don't know. Yeah, still got plenty of time if anybody wants to have a nosy. Next week we've got our good friend back on Bitcoin. So Michelangelo that came in a couple of weeks ago, he missed us the other week, and Crown Paul covered the spot, but he's agreed to come back next week before Christmas. And I'm guessing that we might have a bit of a shutdown over Christmas and New Year, and perhaps come back in the new year in January. But that's up to anybody else. I fancy a break. What other people are thinking? Put your hands up. What your thoughts are? Is that a yes? Do we get a break over Christmas and New Year?
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. Okay, we'll have to do something about that. Any more questions out there? Tony's got his hand up again, I think. Tony. You want to mute yourself, Tony, if you got another question? And who's it for? He's not answering. Crown Daniel.
Sorry, I just snuck in.
Oh, Tony's, yeah, go on, keep going then, Tony.
The
Sorry.
bar on the bottom just keeps disappearing. Can't mute myself. Is there any such central portal or Google Drive or some sort of a spot where we can perhaps gain access to some of these documents without, busting chops?
I think your problem with putting on a Google Drive is that it's pretty open to them.
Okay.
I mean, Des has just explained how he keeps 3 drives and he keeps them in 3 different places and only connects them to the computer when he needs to. I don't think anybody in the room is saying we aren't going to send you a document. What we are saying is that you're welcome to the information. People are putting the numbers up. We're all available at various times. There's plenty of us that got each other's numbers if you want to catch someone. But you do need to make the document. Sorry.
Maybe like a hierarchy of like a list of I guess a hierarchy of documents of importance, maybe.
Yeah, we're going to put what Des gave me today. We are going to put that on the common law court in regard to live life claim, and just run through those documents you sent me, mate, because I'm having IT issues in looking at them down the house, Des. You can just run through what you sent me on that email, please.
Well, I sent you, actually the first email I sent you, I believe it was the petition of right that from David Walter. Along with that is the template for your own petition of right, which I think is about 6 pages from memory. David Walter's PDF file is 119 pages, so that's for everyone to read. You can also send that with your petition of right as well as you're backing up, David. But read the petition of right first. It's also got some helpful hints in there, a page on that. Sorry?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's all right.
Yeah. You're right. So that covers David Walter's stuff. I sent the Live Life claim, it's just a template that people can use. And I also sent a template of the deed of reconveyance. If people are interested in doing a deed of reconveyance, there are other ways you can do the reversion process, but that stuff was originally based on Enavon right, and then we spent again probably 20 or 30 hours, I suppose, just adapting it to Australian conditions, so to speak. So the deed of reconveyance consists of 9 documents in there that you can change. So that's it. I think that's about all I sent you tonight. Was David Walters.
No. Yep. And we'll put that up with some comments on the common law court, and we'll add the first 20 minutes of the video, and the rest I'm sure Steve will split it up and make them into smaller videos for people to comprehend with links on. So that'll be awesome. Crown Daniel, I think you had your hand up next. If you finished, Tony, thanks for you asking the question.
Yeah, g'day guys. Look, there's a couple of things that just prompted me. I know that document was talking about ANZ, and we just started talking about the crypto stuff for next week. I've just noticed a a trend changing with some of the major banks that I've been dealing with, and they've definitely changed their algorithms in the context. Just recently, just buying, as silver's gone down, wanted to buy a small parcel of a bit of silver, and also we've been talking about the crypto, so I was wanting to move a couple grand into CoinSpot to buy some little bits of Bitcoin. It's just small time dime and coin stuff. And on the CommBank, as well as the St George Bank, they've been when I have tried to do those transactions, they've frozen my platform, and both ones have made it really difficult for me to re-establish. And St George actually made me go in there to do a 100-point check in one of their branches just to get it reinitiated. And so I suspect they're changing their algorithms and preparing to, this is just me, to stop people transitioning currency either into bullion or Bitcoin. And they've been giving me a really hard time. And to the point where CommBank, and I did a couple small little parcels, and I was using ABC Bullion. Now, ABC Bullion are the largest bullion provider. They've got their own foundry, the largest in New South Wales. They'd be just under, Perth Mint sort of stuff. They're multi-million-dollar operation. And when they closed me down on that one, I rang the fraud squad, and they said, well, we're just picking up some dodgy movements. And I said, well, okay, it's a pretty big organisation, get me going. And then they'd give me codes, and then the codes wouldn't work to get me going, and then I have to ring them up again. And every time it's taken me a couple of hours. To one point, I had to go into a comm branch as well to get it all up and running. And that's happened probably 3-4 times. And the last time I had a go, which was just a couple of days ago, and I said, look, the last time I spoke to you about this, I said, now I've spoke to you about ABC Bullion. It's a big operation. You said that it wouldn't happen again, and it's happened again. So what's happening with your algorithms? And he actually admitted to me, well, look, I'll clear this now for you, and it will clear for 3 days. And if you make another interaction with that organisation, you'll get closed down again. So he actually acknowledged that ABC Bullion's on their list. So he actually said that to me. So yeah, look, just a heads up, guys, there's something brewing, and I reckon they're stopping.
Just makes you wonder, Dale, how close the crash really is.
Yeah. So that's just me joining the dots. So if you're wanting to move money out, they can make it difficult, but I reckon there's still a window to do it. But I reckon when something gets wobbly in the market and you get tens of thousands of people all crash their systems and they're trying to reset their systems back up, you've missed your window. So that's just my perspective.
Thanks, Daniel. Tony and Skip, you hand up.
Yes, guys, I've just put a link. It's only one line, my copy, but when I put it into the page, it's a huge link. It's something that I was listening to today. I have shared it with Jeanette and with Steve. So just to give you an idea, there is a lot going on globally, as we all know. This is from Charlie Ward. Now, I listen to a lot of things. I go from the spiritualists to the Intel. I've got Intel coming directly out of the justice system in the US at the moment. And also I have got some contacts in the Reclaim Your Lives out of London and Sasha Stone. Today they've indicated that there's going to be some, when they talk about the darkness, we're going into darkness, it is not, we're not going to lose power and the sun's not going to rise tomorrow. What it is, it's going to be the internet is going to go down. So when the internet goes down, it's social media, including social media. It's because they've now got enough information, or they've got what they need to, as Sasha Stone said this morning, they have got sufficient information to actually do everything now. It's just the pantomime that we're watching globally now. So they've got everything in place that they need to have in place. It could, when the day of blackness comes, it's going to be between 6, well, they say 3 to 6 days. We just don't know, but it is anticipated to happen and be over with before Christmas. So the 24th of January, 24th of December here, possibly the 25th in the US. But that's when the SARA is going to be anticipated to kick in, and that was from 2 sources, Sasha Stone and also from Charlie Ward. And GESARA is anticipated to kick in as of the 1st of January. Now, as for crypto, in relation to crypto, be very, very mindful, and I hear what Daniel has said. Yes, the banks are playing control freaks at the moment, because the banks have been kept out of most of the crypto. And the reason that they've been kept out of it is so that the public, that we the people, can have an opportunity to buy. Do not use the word Bitcoin if you're doing any transactions. That is one of the things that will trigger a swipe of you, or stopping you, or barring of you when you do it. You need to establish an account and an exchange first, and then you've got to transfer it to something that deals with crypto, and the banks are not going to be dealing in crypto. We're going to find, as Jeanette said in her documentation to the banks today, she was very clear in what she was saying. We've had to do something very similar. The banking system is full of warlords, and yes, it is a criminal game that it is global, and we've all got to be very vigilant. My suggestion is, if this is going to be over, all the technology things, so think about what you need, anything that you need, if you need cash or anything for the next 6 to 10 days, grab yourself some cash. Everything should still be open, but you won't be able to use electronic because it's not functioning. So that's just my tip and what I've heard and my information from the sharing perspective. Okay, that's all I've got. Thanks, guys.
Just in time, Boris has come along, so he's bound to ask the question because he always likes to come last. He might not have licked in yet, I don't know. I've just accepted him in the room. Boris, you've not got your hand up. What's wrong? Go on, sorry, who's that?
Jordana?
Yeah.
Jordana, go for it.
Right. Can I just ask, Skip, what do you think about the notion of like the AI and the whole crypto thing? I sort of went on a site looking at something, and it was, what's his name? Former Liberal politician, some new business he's got, and I kind of followed the link, and it kind of like zooms through and does your investing for you. And then when I kind of got through to the end, I realised there was Elon Musk and Gates and another one of those fellows who are in on it too. Like, they're all getting really excited about it. And I'm thinking, so is that just a bit of a bad thing than the AI?
So as far as artificial intelligence, guys, I'm very cautious of artificial intelligence, very cautious. During the day when I'm working on my laptop, I put a cover over my camera, and I have my camera on speaker and away from me. It's generally looking at the ceiling if I'm in the office here working, or otherwise I don't. I try and put something over the camera on the front of the phone and over something on the back of the phone. I am very reluctant, and I have not I have not swiped my phone for any QR codes. I will not use it so far as that's concerned. Now, so far as Bitcoin or crypto is concerned, from research and also information being provided, a lot of the Bitcoin investments are downstream of the Three Gorges Dam in China. That is very shaky at the moment. If that dam is to go, there's a potential that all of their investments will go. So there's going to be there is the potential for a lot of assets or a lot of money being lost with people with Bitcoin. So just be very mindful. Do your research when you're going into any of these cryptos. I'm not going to say which one's the good ones and which one's the bad ones. We have got some crypto, yes, but we've been very selective and very careful about what we've got. we've gone into an exchange to start with, and now we've got an account with an agent or a company that's attached to that exchange for our crypto. Because if
Thank you for that. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Andy. If we have to start using crypto, I mean, it's something that's completely new to us. We don't know what the value of it's going to be or anything like that. It's the market is very volatile, except for Bitcoin. So just be mindful, very, very mindful, guys, and ladies and gentlemen, I should say.
Thank you. Eileen, got a hand up there if you'd like to unmute yourself.
Yep.
We're getting 10 minutes from the end, or 9 minutes from the end, so probably last couple of questions.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm not bad, thanks. I'm quite well. I was just going to ask, I missed that, about when, and I can't remember the lady's name, is it Deb? It's not Deb, is it? Was just talking?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yes, Skip's a nickname.
No, it's a Christian name.
Sorry, Skip, I get confused. So I'm just going to say I missed you, what you said about when you thought the internet might go down here.
The internet, they're saying it's going into darkness, and it's going to be, they've said between 3 to 6 days. Yeah. And so they're expecting it to come out in the US on the 20th, somewhere between the 24th or midnight on the 24th. Yeah. And then, yeah, so of December. So it is imminent. So it's just about being prepared, people. It's just about being.
It could be here straight after that, like here as well.
Oh, look, it's going to be global. It's not just here in Australia.
No.
And it's not just in the US. It's going to be global.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So it could be Christmas Day from 24th of December onwards.
And up until then, Eileen, up until then.
Around the 21st was what I heard. 21st was the date they first threw out.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, because it's a bit of a delay.
Yes.
What I've heard is it's coming out, but it's going to be between 3 and 6 days, coming out on the 24th. So it should be all over and done with by then. So when it's going to happen, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just the final days that I'm aware of it that were been confirmed by 2 international authorities.
So when the NESARA happens, will we be able to use our money when it comes online again?
I've got no idea about that at all, Eileen.
I heard, I don't know whether any of you heard, someone sent me a message this morning to say that those Chinese troops who were in Canada were in the DUMS, and they turned out that something happened, and I didn't, because of there was something happening with the internet, I didn't hear, but they said something about the Chinese had bombed an American plane or split it in half. I don't know if it was in the air or on the tarmac, but anyway, the military have bombed the DUM, and they reckon that the whole 25,000 or whatever it was the Chinese troops are dead. And they said there was skirmishes going on off the course, the coast of Japan, and also India. There were skirmishes, and Taiwan. So I don't know, but they said they came in underneath in these DUMS and ended up underneath Maine.
I'm very cautious of anything that comes through on the general media. Well, it
wasn't from the media. This is from a friend of mine. It was highly secret, and she said it will come out eventually. But I knew that Trudeau had sent a lot of his troops in exchange to China, and he had the communist Chinese, and I think a lot of people know, I even heard like Charlie Ward and some of them saying that they're there and the American troops were watching them over the border. So I know the Chinese troops have been there because Trudeau is completely in bed with China, communist China. But I don't know whether this is true or not. But this lady who sent me this is really honest. So I don't think she'd send it to me if she thought it wasn't true, but yeah.
Yeah, let's say, guys, do your own research.
Yeah.
It is imperative that we all do our own research.
Yeah, and I think it's because it's another effort to try to get rid of Trump, because they were saying the Chinese wanted to kill as many American men, women and children as they could. So it's all about, because they know Trump really won the election.
Yeah.
I
So I heard, I heard there was 50,000 China CCP troops were killed in the Dums.
Yeah,
Gene Decode, ex-military. He's been looking at all the dums across the world and been giving updates as to where it's happening. Yeah, they were infiltrated into US soil, so they shot them down. The pilot of the CCP had coordinates with missiles, a missile on flight, his F-16. They shot him down, but the pilot actually didn't have any GPS, so they don't know where he is. They've apparently killed other troopers. Donald Trump has brought out an executive order to have the 24th off for all federal government employees.
So he's made martial law, hasn't he?
Yes. So I've heard that I like to call it Trump Sara, starting on the 24th. That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Right, thank you. I'm glad somebody else heard it too. I didn't imagine it. Thanks.
Sorry guys, I've just been chasing flies in the office.
Well done, yeah. Well, a little bit of a burst of information there. We've got like 2 or 3 minutes left. Is everybody happy with us finishing up tonight, or do you want to stay on for hours? Is that all good?
Yes. Andy,
all right, well,
did you call me earlier?
Boris, I knew he'd come back. Hello, Boris.
Yeah, I was just signing in. Did you want to ask me something? I heard my name mentioned, but that's all.
Yeah, I mentioned your name because you normally ask a question last, and you are now last.
Oh, now I'm last. That's very good.
Yeah.
Just a bit of have a bit of news about the vaccine trials. A guy I know has died. It didn't explicitly say that he went on the trial, but from when we were chatting, he sort of said, well, it's only a jab and I need the money. That was a couple of weeks ago. He was found dead in his bed a couple of days, a week or so ago. And his roommates didn't even know. He lived with a couple of drunks in a house, so they didn't know. But the coroner is now involved because they could not find the cause of death. He was only 60, fairly healthy bloke. 60.
Thanks, Boris.
And so coroner is involved. His funeral is going to be sometime in January. And I'm yet to talk to his roommates and find out exactly whether he shared the information with them or not. But
where's he located, Boris?
In Sydney. Okay. When he spoke to me, when the trials came out, we were joking, and I asked him, are you going to go in? And he sort of said, yeah. Anyway, didn't have nothing affirmative, but there is that sneaky suspicion that, yes, would have been the vaccine.
Yep. They would have paid him some money.
Yes,
and that's what they do. They find vulnerable people, and it will damage and it will kill.
Yes. Well, he sort of said he was needing money.
That's right. Yep.
But I'm not 100% sure whether he did it or not. But there is no cause. Like he didn't have any ailments. He was a healthy-looking guy. He rode a bike most of the time.
Sounds suspicious. Yep.
Very, very suspicious. And the fact that coroner is involved is
exactly.
Is very sus. So that's a bit of good news from me. Bloody hell.
Well, at least it warns people, doesn't it? Don't even think about having it.
Oh.
Don't even think about it.
All right, Tony, last question. We'll give it to Tony.
I just wanted someone to email me the chat if they can. I can't save it on the phone. I still haven't worked it out.
You can't save it on a phone anymore. It changed a couple of months ago.
Are they?
Yeah, you can do it on a computer, but not a phone. I'm sure Steve would love to send it to you.
No worries. All good.
Steve, all yours, mate. I'm gonna leave you.
Many thanks. Thanks in
No
advance.
worries. Anybody else wants to save a chat? I suggest you save it fairly quickly. And if you can send one to Tony, that would be really useful.
Well, thanks very much, Andy, and I'm sorry I missed tonight.
That's all right. Your presence was not missed.
Thank you, Andy. One thing I can always rely on you. I rely on your support.
And you, sir, for mine.
That's good. I'm gonna work on some lines over Christmas.
Good on you.
I just wish there was some more substance to you, so I had some subject matter to work with. But anyway, I'll invent.
Well, you know, everybody needs to bring a friend next time. Everybody needs to bring a friend. Try and bring someone along tomorrow night. If everybody brought a friend, we'd have 60 here instead of 30. You know, next week, as I said,
or you'd have less friends.
We've got a second Bitcoin meeting next week, so we've got a bit of an extra help. And it's actually on the 22nd, is it? Next Wednesday, the 22nd? It's got to be somewhere close. I've lost my date. When's the 16th?
23rd next Wednesday.
23rd, okay. So we're like the day before it all crashes. So it'll teach you how to get into Bitcoin really quickly.
So, but as I said earlier, guys, make sure you do your own research. It is imperative to do your own research.
All right, I'm going to leave you to it. All yours, Steve.
No worries. So now Tony asked his question. Trina's phone. Did you want to ask a question, Trina?
Why to hand over? What happens then?
I just pass it back to Steve.
Did he start off the meeting?
Yeah, well, he's.
Hey, Andy, you're still on the meeting.
This is my second input, mate. I was on twice. Tony was listening to this one.
Yeah, trust me, once is enough. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
If we were nice to each other, we wouldn't know who we were talking to. So, Trina, you wanted to ask something or say something? You're speaking, but we can't hear you. But you're unmuted, so something's gone wrong your end. And we're not real good at reading lips. Well, I'm not. If somebody is, they can unmute themselves and translate. So, you're on your phone, are you, Trina? Nod your head or shake your head. Okay, well, I can't help you with what you've got. So, give you a few more seconds. Yeah. You're not muted, so it's got to be something to do with the device you're on or the way you connected if you didn't connect with audio. Okay. So unless somebody else has got something else to say, I can close the meeting off. Thanks for coming along, and we'll be around. We'll be around tomorrow night as well. Try and get some information out during the day. It's been a hectic day today. Anyway, I hope that all went well. It was good to see that the participants hung in there, so it must have been worthwhile listening to. I look forward to the recording. So good night all. Trust you're all well, and we'll see you again soon. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Night all.
Good night, guys.
Guys.
See you guys.
Night.
Night, everyone.
Night, Elizabeth.
And thank you for coming along, Des.
Thanks, Des.
Yeah.